Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the dungeon. My name is Caroline, aka Analytical Mystic. I'm about to do your weekly tarot readings for all the zodiac signs, Aries through Pisces. Please keep in mind these readings are general. They may not resonate with everybody. What I'll be doing is I'll be pulling one card for the general energy of the week and one card for the love energy of the week. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. I've already cleared the decks, so we can just jump right in. Let me put up my banner. Hopefully I'll remember them all this time. So let's get going, shall we? What kind of energy is going on in Aries world over the next week? What will Aries encounter over the next week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week, and how will it affect them? Okay, Aries, you have the Tower. So something is going to occur that really shakes you up. This could be some information that you find out. It just really gets you a little bit disoriented, catches you off guard, completely rearranges the way you thought things were going to be. Some things may be coming to a conclusion, an unexpected conclusion. Um, Either way, something is definitely going to happen that is going to create a disturbance in your life. Um, but it's not necessarily a negative one. Even if it seems like it's negative at first, even if it seems like it's just tearing your world down at first, it's making room for a whole new world. No, it's making room for the next phase of your life. So even though it may seem like the end of the world and that everything's going wrong, it's just making way for something new. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Aries. What is going on in Aries' love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week in their love life? Let me be sure to clarify that. What's going on in Aries' love life? I just need one card though, not three. Okay. Okay, you have the Ten of Pentacles. So right now you're feeling good. You're feeling good about your love life, whether you're in a relationship or not. You're feeling good about things. You're comfortable. So if like you're single, you're very comfortable being single, and honestly, you don't really know how you could integrate a partner into your life, so you're not really worried about it right now. There may be some stuff going on that makes it a little bit stressful. Um, and so you may just be completely happy being on your own right now. Conversely, things are going good in your relationship. You and your partner are experiencing domestic bliss, whether you live together or not. Things are going good. You're pretty happy, feel confident in your relationship. um, but there may be some of you though that are having a very hard time with this energy of comfort because you're not feeling it. There will be some of you who are feeling very, very uncomfortable. Um, you may be receiving some information about your relationship that kind of makes you question the stability of it. Um, and so that can, obviously be a little bit stressful, and that's going to be on your mind this week. But again, like I said, it's just making way for something new. It's just making way for something new. So even if it seems like the end of the world now, it's not. It's actually the beginning. All right, let's move on to Taurus. Taurus. All right, let's see what's going on with Taurus over the next week. What kind of energy will Taurus encounter over the next week? And how will it affect them? What's going on with Taurus over the next week? Taurus, you have the Star card. So you're feeling very optimistic this week, very hopeful. You may have been going through a very tough time. Things seem to be starting to get better. Your attitude's starting to turn around. This is not necessarily to say that like you've been an asshole. Just like your frame of mind is starting to turn around. So like if you've been feeling down, you're coming out of it. And you're starting to feel better. You're starting to have a better understanding of what was making you feel this way, so that you can heal and move forward. Um, but yeah, you're feeling pretty optimistic about what's going on in your life moving forward. And some of you just may be very, very focused on your own personal healing journey, which is a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What is going on in Taurus's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter over the next week in their love life? What's going on in Taurus's love life? We have the Wheel of Fortune for your love life, Taurus. So things are turning around. They're going in a different direction. Whether it's a positive or negative direction really just depends on your relationship. Um, it's something you're at a major turning point right now, basically, and it's like things are either going to go one way or the other. Either you're going to keep doing what you're doing, or things are going to change. This is a very, very pivotal moment in your life. Say pivotal. I would say pivotal. Um, and you will grow from this, whether the relationship comes to an end or the relationship evolves. Either way, you will grow, you will heal, and you'll still be optimistic. So even if things are falling apart, like it may have been falling apart for a while, and it may have been just like making you miserable to hold on. So like if it's finally gone, it might be a sigh of relief. Like you may find yourself feeling relieved that the situation is gone. It's kind of like leaving a toxic relationship. You love the person so much, but it's like no matter what, y'all just can't get it right. It's just there's always arguments, there's always miscommunication, there's always misunderstandings. And when you finally separate from each other, you feel better. You're miserable because you miss them. But even the misery you feel in the moment is not nearly as bad as how you were feeling in the relationship. So, um, even if things are coming to an end, similar to Aries, it's really a beginning, and you are feeling very optimistic about things moving forward. Okay, this relationship may have ended, but that just makes space for something new that is more in alignment with who I am and where I'm going in life to come in. So it may suck, but everything will work out in the end, and you know that. You know that. All right. Let's move on to Gemini. what is going on with Gemini over the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter over the next week, and how will it affect them? What is going on with Gemini? Thank you, Funky Uncle John. All right. Gemini, you have the sun. So things are going to become a lot more clear. You're going to see things that you didn't see before. There will be illumination. Illumination. There will be illumination. Um, and this is going to bring relief. Now, as I've been saying already thus far, it's like this, even if the information like you're finding out is negative, like even if you're encountering negative things here, it's still going to be okay. Like it's all going to work out in the end. Things are going to work out better. This information needs to be had. You need to know this. You need to know this in order to make an informed decision about where you're going moving forward. To light your path forward, if you will. You're very excited. You're very excited about where you're going. You're very excited about the potential. This is kind of like having a new idea, and just being really excited about implementing it, starting to implement it, and just being really excited about where you're going with this, like how things are going to work out. And again, I suppose there's some information you can find out that is just very unsettling, but even if that does happen, it's like something that you needed to know. You needed to know. Let's see, what's going on in your love life, Gemini? What kind of energy will you encounter in your love life? I need one card. Can you get a card for Gemini's love life over the next week? Gemini, you have the Two of Cups. So you have a connection to someone. Whether this makes you feel good or bad, you cannot deny the intensity of the connection you have with this person, the intensity of the draw. You cannot deny them. I mean, you can, but internally you can. Like, they will follow you no matter where you go. This is like the type of person where, like, say if you've already been in a relationship with this person, or you were in a relationship with this person, this is the type of person where if y'all break up for some reason, it's like no matter what, no love compares. Like that song, nothing compares to you. It's kind of like that. And it's not necessarily because you're holding on, because the reality is you're really trying to get away. So it's not necessarily because you're holding on. It's just, relationships are different. People are different. You kiss somebody in a relationship, there's a certain dynamic between the kiss. You that doesn't work out, you enter another relationship with somebody, it's a different dynamic. It's not the same effect. You don't have the same kiss. You don't have the same physical interactions. You don't have the same communication styles. You don't understand each other the same way. it's like there's this one specific person that really got you. They, in so many ways, they're on your level. You guys thought the same, but not in a clashing way. Um, you were both happy with your love styles, with the way you expressed affection toward each other. You were both happy with each other, just in general, who you are, the personalities, quirks and all, like all the good and the bad, um, the way the bad is dealt with, with each other, it's different. Like all these different things in a relationship that you encounter, they're different with everybody because no one person is the same. And so you may find yourself in a relationship or a situationship where it's like you care about the person, but the love's not the same. It's not the same type of love. And the thing is I would like to specify that the type of love, this love that like you can't forget no matter how much you want to, wasn't fake. That's the thing. It wasn't some grand illusion, you know. That was really there. You really interacted that way. But something happened. It didn't work out. Y'all had to go your separate ways, you know. And you're moving on. You're trying to move on. But in your mind, it always goes back. Always goes back to that person, the connection you had, because it was the type of relationship that you feel like you want and desire in your life. We all have our wants and needs from a relationship. Many of us don't know what they are. But you may be more self aware and understand what you want now, whereas maybe you didn't before. And you realize that that person was in alignment with all those other things, whereas these other people, they're just not, and you still care about these people that are not. It's just not the same. And so you're dealing with this whole mindset of I shouldn't settle, but I shouldn't take somebody's love for granted because of somebody else. Like you're kind of in that weird state. So for some of you, you're having a difficult time with that because you cannot escape this love. You still love them. You still love them very deeply, very intensely, and in some cases it can be excruciating, just depending on the situation and the contributing factors. So that's a situation in which you're hung up on somebody and you don't like it. You don't want to be. There are other situations where you will be developing a deep connection with somebody, something that is mutual, and develop a partnership. And everything's like you're deeply in love, basically. You can't stop thinking about them. You want to talk to them all the time. You're thinking about them all the time. It's just, it's mutual. And it just has you feeling like you're walking on air. You're just super excited and super happy about the potential. Whether you are actually in a committed relationship or not, committing to a relationship or just meeting somebody. This is a very significant connection you have with somebody, and they're definitely on your mind hardcore. Now, let's move on. I feel like I spent more time than usual, but I don't know. Okay, let's move on to Cancer. All right. What is going on with Cancer over the next week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter over the next week? What's going on with Cancer? What's up with Cancer over the next week? Cancer, you have the Empress. The birth of something new. Anything new. A new phase, a new job, a new path, a new journey. New, new, new. Some of you may be finding out that you're pregnant. Some of you may be giving birth. Some of you may know somebody who finds out they're pregnant or is giving birth. Your mother is of great importance in your life, and you may also have an extremely nurturing vibe going on this week. You care about people. You want to make sure everybody's fine. You want to make sure everybody's happy and healthy and okay. Very, very nurturing. There may be some cases where you just can't get something off the ground no matter how hard you try. And that can be very, very frustrating. Even if that is the case, try to focus on what you can control and are best at. Just being nurturing. Like, of course, Cancer is best at being nurturing and caring and motherly, you know? So, like, maybe you're not able to get things going the way you want to right now, but you still have all this love, care, and concern for the people around you. Or I feel like I need to say, or the animals around you, like for those people who aren't really people, but you have animals, a lot of animals, you're an animal person, You're taking care of your babies. Those are your fur babies. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Cancer. What's going on in Cancer's love life over the next week? Posture. What is going on in Cancer's love life over the next week? You guys, I'm just going to say posture is important. If there is anybody who is younger, or anybody just in general, but especially if you're younger and you're watching, just know posture is important. I don't care how cool you think it is to lean. You're going to regret that when you get older and your back is giving you shit. You may feel like you look weird or get teased for sitting straight up all the time, but you're going to be the one that's laughing when you're older and your back's fine while everybody's walking around with canes. Just saying. I have back issues from poor posture. Just letting y'all know, okay? And I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people in physical therapy with me. All right. 2 of Wands in your love life. So you're not entirely sure what to do about your love life. Single, committed, either way. Got some confusion going on. There's a choice that needs to be made here. You're torn, going in 2 different directions. You're trying to consider every option. You may be even getting advice from people. Be careful about that. Be careful about getting advice from people, because depending on your situation, they could be speaking from a place of envy, and you may not even know. Like, you may not even know this person you're talking to, confiding in, who is quote unquote giving you advice, is actually full of envy. And the quote unquote advice that they're giving you is actually counterproductive. And they know that. They know that. They know that. You don't, but they do. So just be careful who you talk to about your business, because not everybody has your back. Not everybody is being nurturing, caring, and concerned for you. Actually, there's probably less people doing that for you, because I don't know, for some reason, when people are very like motherly and take care of other people are less likely to do things for them. It's less likely to be reciprocated. So you may think you have people that are the same mindset as you, that you're confiding in about your relationship and care about your happiness, when really That's just not the case for whatever their reasons may be. So be careful who you talk to about your love life. Make sure it's somebody who is extremely neutral. Um, so it's very objective. But at the end of the day, you need to trust yourself because you're the one that has to live with your decisions, good or bad. You have to live with your choices. If you choose to walk away, you have to live with it. If you choose to stay, you have to live with the consequences. Either way, you got to live with it. So you're really trying not to jump into a situation with anybody right now, or leave the situation with anybody right now. So, and what I mean by that is, you're not necessarily ready to commit to somebody, and if you're in a relationship and things haven't been going well, and you're confused as to whether to stay or go, it's not time to decide whether or not to go. It's not time. You need to give yourself a little bit more time to consider how this will affect you moving forward, before you make a move. Okay? Okie dokie. Moving on to Leo. What is going on with my lovely Leos over the next week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? What's going on in Leo's world? Leo, you have the Two of Wands. So I feel like, again, I need to talk about taking some time to think about your options before you make a decision. This is just general, though. I was speaking with Cancer in terms of their love life, but this is just general energy. It can be applied to whatever aspect of your life, including your love life, but we're working with general energy. So you're not really, you just got a lot of confusion right now, and you're trying to consider all your options. And, again, beware the people you confide in. Um, I would try to seek guidance from the universe, like, hey, point me in the right direction, give me a sign, just kind of go with the flow. But be open to receive those things. I know some of you aren't into all that, but it would be beneficial for you. It'd be more beneficial than talking to somebody. Just, people are unreliable, and the universe is reliably unreliable. You know what you're getting, even though you don't know what you're getting. And so, if that is the case, you need to be aware of what you're getting, even if you don't know what you're getting, even if you don't know where you're going. You want to make sure you're aware of all the potential scenarios. And it's not just paranoia. There's a little bit of paranoia. There's a little bit of paranoia behind this because it is based on your past experiences, but it's not just because of paranoia, because it's also from learning from these past experiences. So it's not necessarily paranoia, you just know better. You know better to think about these things more, to consider all the different scenarios, to not be blinded by optimism. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Leo. What's going on in Leo's love life? And try not to let anybody pressure you into moving forward in a certain direction or making a decision faster than you are ready to. Love life. Yeah, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So things are actually going pretty slow. Moving very slowly in your love life. If you've met somebody you're interested in, you guys are taking your time to getting to know each other. If you've been talking to and dating someone, like I said, it could be you're taking your time to get to know each other because you really want to build and strengthen the foundation of your relationship, or it could just be straight up coming to a halt. You don't know what is wrong. Some of you may not even know what is wrong. You don't know why there's no progress being made. It has just stopped. And it's very frustrating, very confusing. You don't know how to respond. Those of you who are already in a committed relationship, things are going good. Steady, you can count on each other, you can depend on each other. Plain and simple. It's plain and simple. All the ways, all the healthy ways that you can exist in a relationship, interact in a relationship, complement each other in a relationship. You'll have that going on. And you continue to develop and grow in your relationship. So you continue to build upon the stability. Some of you who are dating, you may be confused about what you want moving forward, and that's why things are slowing down. Some of you are making the choice to slow things down because you're not sure how you feel about the situation. So you don't, like I said, don't make somebody force you to make a decision faster than you're ready to. You don't want to, so don't. All right, let's move on to Virgo. What is going on with Virgo over the next week? What kind of energy will Virgo encounter over the next week? What is going on with Virgo? What's going on with Virgo over the next week? Three of Wands. So you may be waiting to receive something, some information in regards to something that's very, very important to you. Some form of communication, you know, you just have to wait. You're at a period right now where you're waiting for something to happen. You don't want to, but you have to. I mean, I feel like that is general enough to cover everything that you could possibly have to wait for. It's whatever's going on in your life, you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait a little while before you can move forward. So do your best to be patient. I know it's very frustrating when you hit these moments where you can't make more progress. When you feel like you can, and you feel like you can make more progress, like you want things to happen now, but you're being forced to slow down a little bit and think about things more. There's some communication that needs to occur before moving forward. And again, that's something that you may be waiting on. There are some things, yeah, you're just And there are so many scenarios that can be, that general statement can be applied to. Like, there's so many, I can't even like throw out enough examples, I feel like, because, just waiting for something before you can move forward. Like, you gotta wait. That could be anything. I mean, it could be waiting to receive some mail. It could be waiting for your popcorn to be done in the microwave. That popcorn is very important to you, isn't it? If it's coming up in the weekly reading. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Virgo. What is going on in Virgo's love life over the next week? The Ace of Swords. The truth. The sword of truth. It can cut like a knife. So, yeah, the truth can cut like a knife. The truth may be revealed, and it's not necessarily pretty, you know. In some cases, you will find success. In some cases, this will be a situation where a partner is opening up, being honest with you, or somebody's opening up and being honest with you after a period of, keeping to themselves. But this could also be a situation where things have just been tense for quite some time, and there is a discussion that happens, things come up, you don't like what's being said, you got to deal with it anyway because it's the reality of the situation. And if you don't want to deal with it, if you don't want to work with this and collaborate, it's got to come to an end. So in some situations, it's going to come to an end. It's going to come to a conclusion. It's going to hurt. You're going to miss this person very much. You're going to miss talking to them. You like talking to them a lot. You like spending time with them. You enjoy the intellectual stimulation you get from them. So it's not necessarily just some sort of romantic, intimate, sexual relationship. It's like that you connect with them mentally. You can sit down and have intellectual conversations with them, and that's something that you really enjoy about your connection with this person. So if, say, that were to come to an end, yeah, that wouldn't feel too good. Wouldn't feel too good. Some of you are waiting on that decision. That's what you are. You're waiting on this communication from somebody to find out, okay, are we moving forward or are we just cutting this shit out? Either way, we're entering a new phase as a result. If things are getting cut out, you're cutting away the dead wood, making room for the new. Um, truth comes out, there's greater clarity, you understand each other, you become closer and you move forward. So it can go in a couple different directions depending on what is going on in your life. Yeah, I feel like there is a very important conversation that needs to be had, and somebody is avoiding it. Somebody doesn't want to have it. Oddly enough, I kind of feel like it's the other person that's kind of holding off on this communication. I feel like you want to talk to them. That's what you're waiting on. I feel like you're waiting for this illumination on what is going on, and just in general excited to talk to them. You're waiting to talk to them because you like talking to them. Whether things are good or bad, you still like talking to them. You know, if there are arguments, you still like talking to them. It doesn't change that you enjoy this person genuinely, who they are. If anything, that kind of makes it harder when you need to sever the tie because you enjoy this person so much that you don't want to deal with the reality that it's just not healthy. But you have to. So, all right, moving forward. Moving forward, let's see what is going on with Libra. What is going on with Libra over the next week? What kind of energy will Libra encounter over the next week? What's going on with Libra over the next week? Libra, you have the Knight of Cups. So with the Knight of Cups, you are feeling very loving, you're feeling very affectionate to the people that you care about, and even the people you don't really know very much. You're just feeling kindness in your heart. You want to be kind to people. You want to show love, affection, and acceptance. You don't want to feel negative in any way at all. And so you are just trying to exude love at this point and just like be playful and have a good time and cheer up people who are sad, you know, and make them feel appreciated, if not loved. You know, you're all about doing the things that you love right now. So you may be really focused on your hobbies, your extracurricular activities. You're just feeling pretty optimistic at the moment about life. Um, I suppose there are some circumstances that where no matter how hard you try to do that, it's ineffective. The people you are fucking with or the person you're fucking with, they are just too far gone. They cannot appreciate what you are doing in the moment because they're so caught up in their head and what they got going on in their life. So try not to take it personal. It's not you, it's them. They got issues. So, like, just don't take it personal. Sometimes people, they just can't turn it around, you know, and they may even start to feel shitty about not being able to turn it around if you push too hard to try to make them happy, or if you act like you're disappointed that they're not smiling or something. That's going to make them feel worse. I know that sounds crazy, but then it's like, oh, now I feel guilty because you're trying to make me happy, but I'm still not happy, you know, but you're trying. So just kind of be aware of that if you are trying to cheer some people up that are having a really hard time, you know, just know not to be forceful and be understanding if they can't smile or if the smile only lasts for like a few seconds, you know. It just is what it is. There may be people who are trying to do this for you. There may be people who are trying to help you out, help you be optimistic and feel better about life and whatnot. And for some of you, yeah, you're having that vibe where you just can't do it. And now you feel bad because they're trying to help you be happy and you just can't be happy. So now you feel like shit because what's wrong with you? You can't be happy. You know, one of those things. And it just kind of sends you on a spiral, and which was the complete opposite of what the person was trying to achieve to begin with. Yeah, so that could definitely go awry very easily. But I do highly recommend that even if you are feeling that way, um, let these people try to cheer you up. And what I mean by that is it's like be open to what they are doing. Because you may not appreciate it now, you may be annoyed by it now, but later on when you're feeling better, it'll really mean a lot to you. You'll really appreciate that. You'll appreciate them because it's like in that moment you felt like shit. You didn't want to go out. You didn't want to do anything. You didn't want to talk to anybody. But looking back, it's like these people cared enough about you. This person cared enough about you to drag you out, even though you felt like shit. They cared enough about you that they wanted to hang out with you. So they dragged you out because that's how much they care about you as a person and who you are, your personality, And if you really are able to see that, it will definitely help when it comes to your self image, you know. Um, 'Cause people do care. You may feel like nobody cares, but people do care. I think the problem comes in with some people, it's like when you feel like nobody cares, but people do care, it's really the person that you want to care about you doesn't care about you. And so then you feel like nobody cares at all, and that's just not the truth. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Libra, shall we? What is going on in Libra's love life over the next week? Kind of energy will Libra encounter in their love life over the next week? What's going on with the Libra? Libra, you have the Emperor. If you are not already committed to somebody, you want to commit to them. You want to build structure in your life with them. You want to build the structure of your relationship. You want to make it real. And you may be taking the initiative to pursue the other person, whether it's like just dating or initiating the conversation. You're ready to do something about what's going on. You're ready to take control of the situation. I feel like some of you may be becoming a father. I'm sitting here wondering how that is relevant to a relationship, but typically when people have a kid, they're in a relationship. Not always, though. Not always. Um, but if you are a male, you know, you may be in a point in a relationship where your significant other is with child or had a child, and that's part of the reason why you're ready to take control. You're ready to commit. You're ready to step up to the plate and be a good husband, partner, and father. Just very loving, caring, concerned. You're going to do what you can for your partner because you really care about them. Conversely, you could be being overbearing, controlling, arrogant. Yeah, there could be some negative personality traits that are affecting the relationship. They're becoming more what's the word I'm looking for? Intensity. They're becoming more intense as a result of the relationship because this person like triggers some sort of insecurity in you and whatnot, and so it makes you feel like you have to have control over the situation, over the person. Makes you feel like you have to You have to possess them. They have to be yours. They can't be anybody else's. They have to be yours, you know. Some of you may be looking at your partner as an object, more as an object or a possession than an actual partner. And also, some of you, a plaything. But it's like, if this is somebody that you're not, like, you don't see yourself with long term, like married, you do see yourself with okay, take away not long term. You do see yourself with them long term, just not getting married. And even if you are with them long term, you're still going to see other people. It's just you want to have them in your pocket, and you want to have them in your pocket for a very long time. You want to keep them sprung. You want to keep them hung. So some of you may actually be being very manipulative. Ooh, ick. That makes me feel gross. Yeah, some of you may be being an extremely manipulative partner. This is not just with men, this could be a female as well. Just very possessive, very controlling, very antagonistic. Um, Sleeps around. They don't sleep around, they talk to people all the time because they have to have attention all the time. They feel like they have to have attention all the time. You feel like you need to have attention all the time. Uh, that will definitely ruin a good relationship because you and your partner could have a disagreement. Your partner could be taking their space, not talking to you for a while, and because you need attention, you start fucking with other people, and then when your partner comes back after they've cooled down, you're fucking with somebody else and they're heartbroken now. Next thing you know, you've lost them. Or they've lost you. That's sad. But the thing is when it comes to being possessive and controlling and whatnot, it's not healthy. You don't need to be in a situation like that anyways. Um, but if you're dealing with somebody who is like that in regards to attention, just know that that's because of their issues. It's because of the issues that they will be struggling with before and after you. You know, it's something they've got to work through, and you've got to do what's good for you. You can't sit around and wait on them. Um, you do have a life, and so some of you just maybe being like, okay, I need to just move beyond this. I have no control over this situation. I just need to let go. So you just need to let go. Okay, moving on. Moving on to Scorpio. Let's see what is going on with Scorpio over the next week. What's going on with Scorpio over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter? I get one card for Scorpio. What kind of energy will they encounter over the next week? Scorpio, you have the Page of Cups. So you are going to be feeling playful, talkative, optimistic, lots of ideas, just really trying to do the stuff that you love and take pleasure in it. You may be very, very talkative over this week. You just want to talk. So, like, if you have been a hermit for quite some time, you are ready to come out of your shell and catch up with everybody that you've missed out on over the past few weeks, months, whatever, few days. You're ready to catch up with them all. So it's almost like you've got a little schedule of conferences, if you will, and it could very well be a schedule of conferences, like with work, but in catching up with work and whatnot. But this could also be like conversations with friends and family, that are long conversations. You got to catch up. You got to catch up. And these also may be people that you talk easily to anyway, so the time goes by really, really fast, and you'll got to catch up. So, you're going to be spending a lot of time catching up on things that have fallen behind as you have been withdrawn. And yeah, just feeling very, very optimistic about things. Got a lot of ideas, a lot of energy, and just ready to go. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Scorpio. What is going on in Scorpio's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter in their love life over the next week? Scorpio, you have the Ace of Cups. So you are feeling very strongly. You are feeling your feelings very strongly, be them positive or negative. So for some reason, you and your significant other, whoever you're seeing, whatever, had an argument, aren't talking, some sort of disagreement, maybe just separated from each other for some reason. It hurts so much. It hurts so much. Cannot stand being away from them. Your love for them is so deep that just the thought of the ties being severed, it really just brings out a level, an intensity of emotion for you that you didn't even realize that you had. You didn't even realize that you had this level of intensity and emotion. Think that you try to hide your emotions from yourself. It's because you don't like being emotional. Scorpios are very, very sensitive, but they don't like showing it. Very, very secretive also. So, and a lot of times that's why, because it's kind of like a self-preservation type thing. You know you're sensitive. You know how intensely you feel. So you're not going to let everybody else know that. Because you don't want to seem weak. You may feel like having intense emotions for somebody makes you weak. And you don't want to feel weak. But this person makes you feel weak. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control, and something takes over me. If you've recently met somebody, though, they have definitely brought out that intensity of emotion for you, from you. You feel very intensely for them. You think about them all the time. All the time. You can't stop thinking. Kind of wish you could. But at the same time, this feeling that you feel right now, it makes you feel so warm and fuzzy and floaty that you kind of want to stay there forever. Like, you just love the way it feels and you don't want it to pass. But you know what? This too shall pass, because everything passes. Everything in life is a cycle, and I'm not saying it'll end. I'm not saying the love won't continue. I'm just saying this level of intensity will wane, to where it'll be a little less overwhelming. The level of love will still be there. It'll just be a little bit less overwhelming. You've had time to like kind of cope with it. You are lavishing said person with affection. You are expressing, some of you may be professing your love to someone. There are some relationships that the commitment will be deepened. I feel like there are some relationships also where there have been problems, but you guys have had you've communicated a lot about this stuff. There's been apologies that have been given. You understand each other better, and the relationship has deepened. There is a level of deeper commitment because you understand each other more. When you understand each other more, you feel closer to each other. You feel closer to each other, you feel more intimate, and this love can grow. And it's a beautiful love. It's so beautiful. Hell, I want to swim around in the fuzzies. And I'm not Scorpio. I don't have any Scorpio in my chart. I want to swim around in these fuzzies because they look so pretty. Anyways, let's move on. All right, let's move on to Sagittarius. Greetings, Drewski. I think you're gone now, but I try to focus on the reading when I'm on the reading. I try not to get distracted by you guys, by the comments. I always look at the comments, but I try to finish my reading first. So please do not be offended if I do not respond, okay? Now let's see what's going on in Sagittarius's world. What is going on with Sagittarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? How will it affect them? What's going on with Sagittarius? Sagittarius, you have the Five of Pentacles. So you may be struggling a bit this week. Right now, you feel like you're going without. You may be broke. You may be so broke and lacking stuff at home. Maybe having a hard time paying bills. Very frustrating. Very depressing. You're trying not to let it drag you down, but right now you just really feel like an outsider. Some of you, I don't like saying this, but it's in here. Some of you may be getting evicted, kicked out of your home. You just feel really isolated and like you're on the outside looking in. You feel like an outsider. So if like there's a group of people hanging out and talking, it's like none of them talk to you. Like the group of people's over here and you're over here. That's kind of how you feel. You feel very separate from a lot of stuff. You feel a lot of lack in your life. And this is something that you definitely want to change. You don't want to feel like this, but at the same time, it's like you got to work through these feelings. You do feel like this, you have to honor your emotions, acknowledge them, and then release them. You can't just stuff them down. I mean, you can, but it'll come back. They always come back. Always come back. It could take years, it could take decades even, but see what's going on in your love life, Sagittarius. What's going on in Sagittarius's love life? I think you would definitely benefit on working to develop gratitude for what you do have in your life right now. Okay. I did shuffle this deck, you guys, but I've also pulled out the Ace of Cups for you. So, very, very deep and intense emotions that you're dealing with right now. If you're in a relationship, you're feeling very loving towards your partner, very nurturing, but at the same time, I don't. I kind of think that you feel like your love is unappreciated, and you just wish this person understood just how important they were to you, just how much you loved them. So you may be feeling very disconnected from your partner, but you still love them deeply. And, even if like this is not somebody who's your partner, somebody you're committed to, it's somebody you're dating, somebody you care about, you love them so much and you feel so disconnected and rejected even. Some of you may be feeling rejected, like the love is not requited, you know, or you don't know and you're assuming it's not based on just your issues in the way you think, thought processing. So it's like, even if there is a new love that erupts in your life, even if you meet somebody new that you connect with, um, you're still going to have this insecurity of being rejected. Like, I don't think that you could truly feel connected to anybody right now, even if they did have mutual feelings, even if the feelings are mutual, you won't believe it. You won't believe that it's mutual. And that's because of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about yourself. The way you feel about yourself may have been influenced by other people, but at the end of the day, it's how you feel. And you control how you feel, even if you feel like you can. And right now, you may feel like that. Your emotions are so intense, not just the way you feel longing for somebody, romantically for somebody, just in general. You are so sensitive right now. Your emotions are so intense that, like, you're just super fragile. You're super fragile, Sagittarius, and you feel like nobody likes you. Nobody cares about you. Nobody wants anything to do with you. Like, that's kind of where you may be going with this. Nobody understands you. You may be feeling very misunderstood by your partner. Either way, you're on the outside looking in, but the love you have, the affection and care you have for this person is still very intense. Very intense. Very intense. Very real. Very real. Whether you're dating, committed, breaking up even, the way you feel is so intense. It hurts. It hurts. Even if the feelings are mutual, it still hurts because it's so intense you don't know how to cope with it. And then also on top of it, you may feel like you don't deserve it. I feel like you're gonna be very down on yourself this week. And I really wish you wouldn't be. I really wish you wouldn't be. Hopefully this is just a passing mood, you know. Um, it is a mood, though. You can't deny it. You can, but like internally, you know. But hopefully, next week will be better. Come back and find out. All right. Moving to Capricorn. What is going on with Capricorn over the next week? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? what's going on with Capricorn and what kind of energy will they encounter. So much love. We have the Ace of Cups again. Like, wow. Pulled out the Ace of Cups, I think 3 signs in a row now. Very emotional week. Very emotional week. I mean, I really, you may be experiencing a lot of new things right now that make you feel good, you know? Um, very, very emotional week. It's not necessarily negative emotions either. It's all around. Every emotion you have right now, you feel very, very intensely, very, very deeply. But other people wouldn't know. You want to know why they wouldn't know? Because you got a good poker face, Capricorn. Poker face, poker face. And you are growing through, whether you realize it or not, you're growing through your sensitivity. So even if you're feeling pain, you're growing from this pain. And you are learning a lesson in unconditional love. You are learning to share the wealth, not just the financial wealth, the abundance that you have in life, the love. You're just trying to be kind to people and trying to deal with your emotions in a healthy way, but you are feeling very, very deeply, very, very intense. So, the little irritations that piss you off could really, really set you off. So you may be struggling with some emotions because they are so intense. But that's kind of just part of being so sensitive, you know. Let's see what's going on in your love life. What is going on in Capricorn's love life? Capricorn, you have the Three of Pentacles. So you and a significant other or love interest, you may be working through some difficult issues, some difficult times. Some of you are just like, you're just working to build more stability and ground your relationships. You have this intense level of emotions, these intense emotions, and it can be all consuming. So you need to ground yourself, and you're working on grounding yourself. But I feel like that there is a lot, you could benefit a lot from collaborating with your partner right now. So for those of you who feel better being self-sufficient, independent, not asking for any help, that could actually be counterproductive right now. So do not be afraid to tell your partner how you feel. Do not be afraid to ask for help, because you will benefit more. You'll be able, the situation won't be as difficult. You will find a better solution. It's teamwork. So sometimes you need somebody else to see what you're not seeing, so that, like, oh, and the other way around. And once you both see everything, you see the whole picture, and you can move forward based on that. So you definitely benefit from working together with people. Although there are some situations where there's just no working it out. There's just no working it out. No matter how much you love them, no matter how much work and effort you put into it, it's one sided, it's not going to work. And in some situations, unfortunately, it is one sided. And that hurts very much. And I'm sorry that it hurts, and it sucks that it hurts, and I hate that you're in pain, but this is part of life, something we've got to learn to work through and cope with, and that's a lot easier said than done. I know, and I'm not trying, if I sound like I am being, um, just kind of being like, get over it, you know, not understand. No, I do understand that we can't just get over things sometimes. I do understand that. You need time to process. Sometimes you need time to process. But the reality is just being able to accept that things are the way they are. You can't change the way another person thinks. You can't change the way another person is. You can plead your case, but they got to change themselves. Good morning, Barbie. That was just for Capricorns. No, not this is for everybody. As you can probably see now, we are on Aquarius. So let's move forward. All right, let's see what is going on in Aquarius's love life. What is going on with Aquarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? Six of Pentacles. The first thing that comes to my mind is overworked and underpaid. Yeah, you may be working a lot, a lot, a lot, and you're not, even if you're getting compensation, it's not enough. And you're putting more in than you're receiving. So it's like your work is worth more than what you're receiving. Um, there may be a conversation that needs to be had about your wages. Some of you may be seeking a loan, maybe having a difficult time right now, so you have to ask for money from somebody. You're not happy about it, but you got to do what you got to do. You know, you may have a family that you're concerned about, or, I mean, yourself. You know, you got to do what you got to do to maintain. And thus, if you are in a situation where you're overworked and underpaid, you don't really have another option right now, so you may be kind of just dealing with it, which sucks. But if you don't really have any other options right now, you don't have any other options right now. That's just this week, okay? That's not forever. That's just this week. But you definitely need to be aware of people taking advantage of you and taking advantage of your need for work. What the goal is to find a situation where there is an equal balance, equal give and take involved. So that would be ideal. That would be an ideal situation. But you may be involved in situations where it's not that way. Somebody may even be asking you for money. You know, somebody may be trying to borrow from you. How you handle that, up to you. I imagine it depends on the person, what's going on with them, because you don't want the person to be using you for your money. You don't want them to be taking advantage of you because they know that you're kind-hearted, you care, and you want to help people. So that's interesting. You could be trying to help somebody who is at a disadvantage, and that's why you want to help them, and they are taking advantage of your kindness. So it's like that they're manipulating the situation. So somebody may have ulterior motives, like they're manipulating the situation. They're manipulating you and your kindness, and they may just freaking ghost and not ever pay you back. So um, maybe you should consider whether or not this is an amount you can stand to lose, because they may not reimburse you. So, like, you gotta consider whether or not you can handle, not your finances can handle, your life can handle not being reimbursed. So, just try to think very smart about finding balance to all of these things, because it could very easily lose its equilibrium. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Aquarius. What is going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? What's going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? Aquarius, you have the Four of Cups. So you're not happy in your love life. You're really, really sad. Some of you may feel like you missed out on an opportunity, like there was somebody that you took for granted and you lost them, and there's really nothing you can do right now. But some of you may be realizing, hey, I'm being used. I'm being taken advantage of. This is not the type of relationship I want. It's depressing. It's very depressing because you really care about this person. And this is just, it's very hard for you. Like I'm getting some vibes that this is a little bit more intense than the other ones, which is crazy because of the intensity of the Ace of Cups. But it's like just the realization that you're being manipulated and taking advantage of is just, it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. Whether you are in a relationship, some of you may be single and just kind of dwelling on how this has happened and this always happens and why does this always happen, and like, even if there is somebody in your life right now who genuinely cares about you and offers you genuine companionship, you're not going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to recognize it because all the pain you're in. And not only that, you're just used to people who take advantage. So when somebody comes along and acts different, it doesn't feel right to you. So you may not feel comfortable with whomever, so you don't see them. You don't see them. You're not really seeing anything positive about your love life right now, just being kind of negative about things. So just not doing so well this week, but it's just this week. We'll check back in next week and maybe things will turn around for you. All right. And last but not least, we are with our most patient. I say that anyways because y'all are the last sign in the Zodiac and the last to get read. So I like to say you're patient, but that doesn't necessarily mean you are. It just depends on who you are. All right, what's going on in Pisces world over the next week? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What's going on with Pisces? Pisces, you have the Empress. So you're feeling very nurturing, caring, loving, affectionate. You just want to make sure everybody's okay. You want to make sure everybody's doing good. Um, you may be a nurse or like a nurse, so you're making your rounds, just making sure each one of your quote unquote patients is doing well. So you may be checking on your friends, family. Um, your mother maybe, or a motherly figure may be of major significance this week. Um, you're entering into a new phase in your life. It may not be very comfortable, but all the potential in the world is there. It's new. Starting over, starting fresh. Some of you are giving birth, some are finding out they're pregnant, other people are pregnant, you know. If you have children, they're a major priority for you. Not that they aren't always, it's just you're more zoned, more clocked in than usual. Not that you aren't always clocked in, it's just there is reason to be concerned more than usual. Um, I feel like you are in control of your life. Even if there are things in your life that you can't control, you have a hold on yourself right now. You feel very poised, very regal, and just clocked in on what you got to do. You're ready to handle your responsibilities. You're ready to take care of business. You're ready to get shit done, and you will get it done. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Pisces. What is going on in Pisces' love life over the next week? What's going on in Pisces' love life over the next week? Pisces, you have the Ten of Wands. So you may be dealing with a lot of frustration, a lot of conflict, very difficult times in your relationship, very, very stressed out by it. It's weighing heavy on your mind. It's hard for you to think about other things because you're so concerned with what's going on in your relationship. This is just, it's heavy on you. It makes it a priority. The intense level you feel makes this situation a priority internally, not necessarily externally. Because if you're not with this person, you still got shit you got to do. But internally, you're always thinking about you're always thinking about the situation, and you're trying to figure out how to nurture things instead of destroy things. So you may be dealing with a very sensitive time right now in the relationship where things could go either way. It could be this uncertainty, like where are we? What are we? What's going on here? And it's something that I don't think it'll necessarily have a complete resolution this week, but it is a priority. And it's something that you feel like you need to know. Like you need to know where this is going. You need to know if this is going somewhere. You need to know if this is over. Because even if this is over, it's still the beginning. Because as I've said with other signs, this is just clearing the way for something new. So, but your love life is definitely a major focus to you today, or this week, even if you're not with somebody. You're extremely aware of not being with somebody. I mean, how can you not be? It's just you're a little bit more focused on it now than usual. For some reason, you're feeling more loving and affectionate, and just a little bit more focused on it now. But it's kind of a burden. It's kind of burdening you. You wish you weren't so focused on it. So. All right, those are your readings for the next week. I hope they resonate in some way, shape, or form, and I hope to see you guys again next week. Also, I do have a Patreon. If you want to see monthly readings, the link is below. I'm actually about to post the monthly readings today, so definitely go check those out, and I will see y'all next time.